Hi, everyone.
Hey, Darren here.
And Brandon, welcome to the White Hatter YouTube News Show.
Happier show today compared to last week. Last week, I'll be honest, a little downer, all kinds of bad news and stuff. It was kind of a downer. This one, we kind of got some downer stuff. We've also got some good stuff.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, the whole point of this show is to share issues with the audience about things to be aware of. I mean, out of our control as the end user, but things that we should be aware of that are happening to kind of prove a lot of points that we speak about, like everything to do with privacy and security, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. So going into the updates, some new updates from us. Excited to announce in between August 17th to 20th, we are doing our Internet Safety Week for parents and caregivers.
Super stoked about this. I mean, you've put a lot of time and effort into creating the sets that we're going to be using. We'll disclose that in a couple more weeks, right, where things are done. I know you're itching to get it done, right? And I know you're under some time constraints because you're taking a week off, which is well deserved. And we put a lot of time and effort into creating the lessons that we're going to be doing during 4 days, right?
4 days between 6:30, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Each of those days for 2 hours, we are talking about various topics for parents and caregivers for online safety, security, and privacy.
It is smoking full of information, right?
Seats are currently limited. Link is down below in description to register.
And we're actually getting quite a bit of registration, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
And even better, it is free.
Yes.
And the reason we made it free is because we wanted to do something for parents. You know what? The new school year, whatever that's going to look like, it looks like it's going to be different from province to province, state to state, because we have U.S. people who watch this as well. So we wanted to give parents some backgrounds on how to best prepare if they're moving to a hybrid or even a full online learning environment, right? So day one, we're actually going to be talking about how to set up your home so that you make it very congruent with online learning. And then we're going to be just talking about a chalk block full of things. For people who want to learn more about all the topics we're going to be talking about on those 4 days, where would they go?
It's on our website, thewhitehatter.ca, also linked down below, and it will take you to the full schedule of topics we will be talking about.
Check it out. 2 weeks.
Last week, we published our interview with David Fraser, a technology, internet, and privacy lawyer. Very good talk if you're looking about online jobs, social media on the job, encryption, privacy, and online schooling.
He really shone a light on a whole variety of things. A couple that really sparked my interest was on the whole issue of copyright issues. If you're uploading music, videos, games, and software that you should be paying for, is it illegal? Or if you share it, is it illegal?
Good topics.
Oh, really good topics. And then he also talked about, because a lot of young people who watch this in families, they think the tech field is all about learning hardware and software. No, like there's a huge opportunity now in the legal field.
Yep.
He is a specialist here in Canada, one of Canada's leading experts on technology, privacy, and social media, and he's one of few. And he just said that it is such a burgeoning opportunity for young people who are interested in getting in the legal field that maybe rather than just thinking criminal or civil work, specializing in this area is huge opportunities. And you know what I like about David? He takes legal mumbo jumbo and turns it into English, easily understood concepts that us neophytes can understand, especially me, because Brandon calls me a neophyte all the time. To a degree I am, especially when it comes to the technology. I'm a boomer, I get it. But anyways, David, just a really good, and how do they find this?
It's here on YouTube, on our channel, and you can find it right there.
Yeah, again, I'm going to be connecting with David. He's offered to do another one. He enjoyed it so much, and he was great. He was great. I'm talking to him, and in his office, you could see this Army helicopter flying in behind him. His office is right on the harbor of Halifax, Nova Scotia, right where the Eastern Fleet of Canada is docked. Just really good guy, really good guy.
So we usually do this in the summer. We usually take a week off from the show. It's usually the week we do take off, and that will be next week. So there will be no show next week. But that's okay because we are doing our Internet Safety Week for parents and caregivers, which is a bunch of free live productions. So, I mean, we're not really going anywhere. We're just taking a little break from the show to focus on this other project.
Which is important, right?
Yeah.
It's important.
Let's talk about some news stories.
In the news.
So, first thing on the news is Zoom again.
Oh, geez.
Zoom's always in the news. Zoom. So, there was a flaw discovered in the Zoom meeting platform that could allow people to crack private meeting passwords.
I thought they
fixed and such now.
Okay.
But what has happened is when you create a Zoom meeting, an event, and you privatize it, there's a password to kind of get in.
Yep.
Well, apparently, after multiple failed attempts at the password, it doesn't lock you out. As many social media companies, after 5 or 8 attempts, it locks you out for like
my
half
phone.
an hour
If
or
I
an
try
hour.
getting in 5 times, it shuts down.
Yeah, do it 10, it deletes.
Yeah.
However, was in the Zoom platform, and there was only about 1 million password combinations that you could guess. So what people basically were doing is you could basically brute force, hack, just jam pile a bunch of random code, and eventually you wouldn't block you out and you would get in.
Yeah,
Fixed now, so.
And having said that, I mean, Zoom has done just a fantastic job in fixing a lot of these issues, right? Like they took a lot of criticism at the beginning of COVID because everybody went to that platform, but the CEO, he mea culpa'd, he's standing in front, responsible, and he's done just a ton of work to make it far more secure. So again, tip of my white hat to what Zoom has done. But like any platform, there's always going to be flaws, but what's really cool about Zoom is once it's brought to their attention, they fix it.
Yes,
right.
But it's also a good, sort of
Reminder.
story letting everyone know that, don't treat these platforms as if they're super private, 100%. Don't do secret, sensitive, private things.
You mean it's not like the Get Smart cone of silence?
No.
Okay.
No, and we'll talk
Do you
about
know who Get Smart is?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw the remake.
Not the original one.
Not the
right?
original.
Okay.
Boomer.
Yeah, I know.
So, and we'll talk about another social media company here in a bit as well, in terms of don't believe that your accounts are 100% private and no one will see anything because, well, yeah.
Maybe not.
Before we get there, Alert, which is the Alberta Organized and Serious Crime Task Force, has identified the highest number of child exploitive image and videos in the past 5 years. So they've seen an increase in these materials on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, anecdotally, we talk about this in our program that we have specifically on webinars. We're going to be doing that webinar as well in the upcoming 4-day event, right?
I think it's day number 2 or 3.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about online exploitation and predation online. But anecdotally, law enforcement across our country, U.S. and Europe, have seen a spike in the number of contacts of young people being asked to do things sexually inappropriate online, primarily because there are more of them online on COVID. So big shout out and just a really good reminder to parents to let them know that wherever kids are, these people will be. I mean, again, it's still a rarity. It's not at the epidemic levels that a lot of people think it is, but there's definitely a spike, no doubt about it. And when we asked our teens who follow us anecdotally, who follow us on, they about 20% said that they had been contacted by somebody who were asking them to do something sexually inappropriate online. Sometimes it was people they know, sometimes it was people they didn't know.
Usually just a random message from a bot.
Sure. But just a really good reminder and a really good reminder for people who want to attend the 4-day event in August 17th and 20th. There's a little hit again. We're going to be dedicating a whole hour on that specific topic, right, for parents. Keep your kids safe.
Speaking of online explicit material.
Oh, here we go.
The MTA, which is the Metro North Transit Authority for, I believe.
Why wouldn't they call it MNA then? Why MTA? Anyways.
Anyway, so basically it's like New York's kind of like metro service.
Yeah.
It's having a bit of a problem.
It's like Toronto's GO train.
Yeah. Basically, there was apparently an algorithmic issue with Google, and when you would be looking up MTA stops for transit, it would be popped up with very sexually explicit material in text and such.
When you say that, do you mean porn?
Yeah, porn text messages kind of thing.
Why?
Apparently, according to both spokespeople from Google and the MTA, there was nothing wrong with the MTA website, and Google says it was an algorithmic issue. Oh. I don't know how it happened. It's just an interesting story because you may have the best, wonderful website in the world. There's nothing wrong, nothing inappropriate on the website. But maybe there could be an issue on the search engine that looks it up.
So let me get this straight. So if I was Googling MTA
station something, you look up a particular station.
And then all of a sudden what would pop up on my screen? A Google search?
It would be a Google result. It would take you to the MTA website.
Right.
But the link, it would say MTA, whatever it is, the station, followed by some pornographic text material.
Would you have to purposely click on that to go see that, or did it just pop up on your screen?
It was in the Google search result.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's we're not going to show it for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, like,
But for younger kids that don't understand this issue, even some adults, but even for younger kids, I mean, it's like kids will type in Barbie.
Yeah.
Right? Because they like Barbie dolls, right? And they go, oh, Google, top down Barbie, click, poof. All of a sudden they end up on a porn
Yeah,
site.
well, that's usually more intentional for, I don't think this was intentional on any kind of porn company or anything. I don't think it was intentional because it didn't take you to a different site. It took you to the MTA website.
Okay, I'm just going to play this out.
Okay.
But if I'm a person who owns a porn site and I see that 50,000 billion trillion people are following the White Hatter, well then hopefully that'll happen one day. Then why
Please
wouldn't
subscribe.
then yeah, please subscribe. Why wouldn't I then as a owner of a porn, knowing that
Owner of a porn.
billion trillion people search the White Hatter, why wouldn't I want to build that into my porn site in a Google
Yeah,
results?
you could
so it'll
try.
pop up?
I mean, obviously, we would take them down for trademark violation, but that's
Right,
different.
right.
But yeah, you could. But I mean, but this case, it didn't take you somewhere different. It took you to the MTA website.
Oh, okay.
So it's just Garmin, which is a GPS company.
Yeah, they also do watches too.
Yeah, it's built into watches, GPS, car GPS.
What happened to that?
Apparently, they had an outage on July 23rd.
Oh.
And
Don't airplanes use that?
yeah, apparently there were some issues with the airline industries.
Not
Not like they're doing much anyways right now.
That's true.
But apparently there were some outages because Garmin has an app API access that you can integrate into apps and devices that allow you to use GPS.
So you would hope that planes have a backup for when that happens. Because can you imagine being up in the air, you're flying using Garmin and the GPS, and all of a sudden it goes, how long was it out for, did it say?
I don't remember how long it was out for, but it was out, and people were annoyed.
Do I turn left or right? Where's Albuquerque?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's when you
God.
pull your iPhone and use Google Maps.
Does that work up in the air like that though?
No.
What?
Although maybe if you're using, I don't know, I've never tried that.
But if you're connecting to the
if you
the
connect to
plane's
the-
Wi-Fi.
in plane Wi-Fi, they have that, and then GPS. Well, it's satellite based.
Well,
it might work.
It worked because remember I tracked Mum on the cruise, right?
that's right.
When she cruised from Vancouver
Yeah,
to.
but cruises aren't as fast as a plane. I don't know. I don't know if the consumer. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Does the consumer GPS in your phone
Surely to God,
GPS?
I bet you pilots have tested this. They have to.
I would have. Yes. Yeah. Of course.
Like I would have. Like let's open up my Apple Maps here and let's see if
you
they
would
can
have to
track
have a
me.
plane that has Wi-Fi
Right.
on the plane
Right.
in order to use that.
Interesting.
I don't know. I want to test that now.
Yeah. No. How do we test it?
Maybe not right now.
you can't.
Maybe in next year.
Yeah. I'm not getting on a plane anytime soon. What's next?
iOS 14.
Oh.
Speaking of iPhone.
I'm kind of excited about iOS 14.
So iOS 14, which is the new version of the software for iPhones and iPads and such.
it's very much privacy.
Yeah. So we talked about this on the last show, the new updates. But basically, the new updates will give you notifications if something is accessing your keyboard, maybe when it shouldn't, or if something's accessing your camera. It'll give you notifications on your screen what apps are doing what more clearly. So apparently, people are testing around, and apparently with Instagram, they declared this as a bug, but apparently when someone was just browsing their feed, their picture feed, apparently iOS 14 was detecting the camera was being turned on and accessed by Instagram.
Say what? So
Now-
if I'm in my Instagram account, so here I am. I'm going to go on my IG account.
Yes.
Boink. I'm into my account, and now I'm scrolling through my feed. So what you're telling me is, as I'm doing this, my camera's on?
No, it was a particular instance. So because everything's more gesture now, there's not many buttons on iPhones now.
Right.
In most phones.
Yeah.
Apparently, what users were accessing the Creator Stories mode in the app, which makes you create things. So when you want to create something, you press the app button, and it opens your
Right here.
camera to then use. Well, apparently, people in certain gestures were accessing that function in the app. It wasn't actually functioning. It didn't actually open the creator part of the app,
Right.
but
It turned on the cam.
you turn on the camera. Now, it's not a huge concern because
What?
there's
What when I'm sitting
no
on my toilet doing my thing? And
there's
I'm
no
doing-
evidence that anything's being saved or uploaded. It's just the camera's just on. It's no different than if I take my camera, the camera right here. It's just on. It's just on. I mean, obviously it's recording right now.
But it's recording.
But if it wasn't recording, it'd just be on.
But how do you know somebody wasn't recording it?
Well, because you would have to do that in the app, and if it was, there'd be a lot of more data being saved. People would probably detect.
No good reason to put something over your webcam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? On our laptops, we have little sliders that we put over the webcams when I'm not using them, right? So
Mine fell off though. Hello. Hello.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Update from Twitter. So Twitter, for those of you who didn't know or don't know, Twitter had a security issue this last couple weeks where apparently some outside hackers were able to hack in and get data and private messages from some high-level Twitter users, be it political figures, celebrities, all those. And there's a huge kerfuffle. Now, according to Twitter's internal reporting so far, these outside attack hackers were able to get access to these people's accounts because through phone calls, basically, through manipulation or social engineering, they were able to convince Twitter employees who had access to advanced user support tools that are basically master keys into every account, and they were able to get access through that way.
Who did it?
Well, according to authorities, allegedly it was a 17-year-old mastermind.
Allegedly.
Yeah, behind the Twitter attack. I mean, again, they'll go to court and all that stuff. But, I mean, it was them, and I think 2 other people were suspected of being involved in this. But again, it goes to show it wasn't a technical hack per se. It was basically I call you up, I trick you to think of someone else who I'm not.
Social engineering.
And you give me access.
Yep,
it's more complicated than that, but basically the essence of this attack was social engineering. It wasn't a virus, wasn't I hack you remotely. It was basically like a phone call.
And it was a 17-year-old who did it to a bunch of techie expert adults.
Now, if history serves me right, usually when someone breaches large corporations like this, don't they usually get like jobs afterwards?
They do. Kevin Mitnick, good example, right?
Yeah.
He one of the first and most famous guys who hacked and stuff, and he went to jail. And then when he got out of jail, he got hired by government agencies to work for them, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this person gets hired by like NSA or something. They go, hey, you hack Twitter? We're in that business. Come work me out.
Come work for us,
Yeah.
This next one's interesting.
Facial recognition flop. So reports are coming out, and we talked about this on our last show as well, but this is a different report, where the National Institute of Standards and Technology basically did some testing with about 89 commercial facial recognition algorithms. And what they did is they basically tested, are you wearing a mask? Are you not wearing a mask? And to the results, these systems ranged between 5 to 50% of error rates.
Yeah.
Because someone in the image was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So
I know there's, following the feeds that there's a lot of groups right now trying to figure out, is there technology now that will allow us still to do this type of work when people are wearing masks?
Didn't we talk about on one show, there's a technology, you take a picture back of someone's head, and it kind of maps at the front of their head? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure...
You need a wide angle for my head, because I got a big melon.
I'm sure there's some companies working on this technology.
But, speaking of this, Mom and Dad went into the bank the other day, and I was wearing a face mask, a black one with the white hair symbol on it. I was wearing my sunglasses, and I was wearing a ball cap. Now, pre-COVID-19, if I would have walked into a bank like that, I think the RCMP would have turned up to go, don't move! Today, I had a security person at the front door actually welcome us into the bank. Bizarre, right? I mean, how things can change. But it's interesting, once again, how people are thinking that facial recognition is the godsend. I think it's the devil reincarnated, because again, it's not the AI, and it's just not. Well, we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, where an AI picked up on somebody who was wanted, when in fact it wasn't them, it was somebody else, right? So,
it's biased towards racial minorities.
So it'll be interesting that post-COVID, after COVID, if people still wear masks and that kind of stuff. And I still think I want to get the glasses that have the infrared LED lights in them, so that when you walk around, a camera will, although the naked eye doesn't see it, the camera, and so it just.
You still need to order those T-shirts as well.
I know,
those T-shirts?
The ones with the license plates.
Yeah,
all over
and
them,
faces just messes it all up. I want to get those.
What else we got?
That's the show for this week.
Just a couple comments. Did you check out the hearings in the U.S. this week about
No,
the
I
big,
have not.
like Facebook and
I mean, I saw
Google?
some headlines, but I didn't look into it much.
Oh my God! It was like I was just sitting back with my bag of popcorn that I got from Save On Foods, some of the best popcorn in the world. I know you eat a different popcorn, right? What's it called?
Boom Chicka Pop.
Boom Chicka Pop, right? I think the stuff from Save On Foods is the
Tastes
best.
the same to me. It's the same kind of material.
Yeah, it's better. But anyways,
from the same
but I add
company.
sea salt into mine.
Oh, so you add more.
I add sea salt.
Okay.
But it was really interesting. usually in the United States, Democrats and Republicans, especially in today's environment, don't get along so well. But I think during this event, it was kind of really interesting to see how both were kind of on side, basically starting to identify that these
The common enemy is social media.
It was very interesting because our friends at Boomerang, right? JP at Boomerang, he just had his app kicked off of Google again,
Right,
right?
yes.
And why? Because Google has created their own product now, in which JP's, Boomerang is a competitor, and they don't like that, so they're pushing them out. So it was very interesting the hearing how these big companies, if they have competition, they do one of two things. They either buy them, or they prevent them from getting into their stores to sell their products. So now they have the market share, right? And so they can start. So, are some of these companies getting too big to the point where they need to be split up and or broken up, and more laws and regulations need to come into play? Prior to listening to this and listening to some of these CEOs, I kind of went, no, but now I'm actually thinking, yeah, because we know somebody like JP, right?
Wouldn't the companies just move to a different, have their headquarters somewhere else? And then
Potentially.
And move their servers to Russia or something?
Yeah, potentially. But then he'll get Trump going, I'm going to ban it, like TikTok. How funny is that? I don't think he understands what a VPN is. Right? All the kids are already talking about.
The American version of TikTok's banned. Just join the Canadian App Store
Exactly.
and pay things to the Canadian dollar. Yeah, help us, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's hello, and
And first off, wouldn't that be an affront to the First Amendment, free speech?
Yeah, I know, but
they're a company, they make money, therefore their money is free speech.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me. I might get in a little trouble for saying this, but it's interesting to me that they can ban TikTok, but they can't ban the use of certain types of firearms, which kill way more people than TikTok does, right?
Oh, you mean certain gases that are not permitted in wars, but civilly they are?
I know. Anyways, so it was very interesting though, sitting back and listening to it because a couple of senators, I'll give them credit. The last time they did this, these senators didn't know how a lot of these platforms worked, right? This time, however, they came prepared. And
how do you make your money?
Some of the some of the younger senators, they took some.
Because they know how the platforms work.
I know, and it was very interesting to watch how some of these individuals were kind of going, "Oh my god," and all of a sudden.
Was AOC in the hearings?
Yeah.
Oh, of course,
of course. It was
yeah,
good
that
listening
makes
to
sense.
her, and then, but it was like it's like the Wizard of Oz, right? They were pulling back the curtain so you could actually see who the wizard was.
Oh, yes.
And I think
surprise, it's a reptilian.
I know.
You got the joke?
I got the joke. I don't know if others who are following this are going, because they're probably looking at you going, why is he laughing? Why is that funny? It's funny. But it was very interesting to see that entire hearing go down the way it went down, right?
Yeah.
I think people are starting to understand the fact, that how they're using our information and monetizing. You can't fault them for doing that, because shareholders, it's all about making money. Mm-hmm. It's the way they're doing it and the way they're kind of hiding the way they're doing it, which is causing, and that's why I'm kind of excited about the new iOS that's coming out for.
Yeah, because Instagram's gotten a couple issues in the past. Oh, no, we have a bug in our system that's doing something it shouldn't be doing.
What was it we spoke about last week where things from the clipboard were being...
tons of apps, you can watch a show link. I'll put a link down below. Where basically some apps were having access to a clipboard. So when you copy and paste something, it's called your clipboard.
Yeah.
It's a temporary space. When you copy something, you paste it, it's saved somewhere. Well, some apps on phones were accessing these clipboards for various reasons, and some companies stated it's because of anti-spam issues and such, but if you're copying passwords, that could be an issue, and it was very interesting. I really enjoyed listening to it and actually seeing where there was some agreement on both the Democrats and the Republicans in the United States on some of these issues, right? So, and some of those issues, because some of them have things they don't want to come public on social media.
And it's not just an American issue. We have these kind of issues going on up here in Canada as well, in politics as well. So.
Difference is the companies are down in the States.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? The lawyer that we spoke to was actually saying that the Section 230, the shielding, the safe harbor that we have in place, it doesn't apply up here in Canada because it's a U.S. law. So if one of these platforms has a Canadian-based subsidiary of it, we can actually sue them. Yeah, very interesting.
Something
right?
like the Facebook office here in Vancouver.
Yeah, or Kik because it's located in Canada and that kind of stuff. You can actually sue and get damages for it. Now it's a matter of having the money to do that because these are big corporations, and where do you have to do that? Right?
They will bury you with lawyers.
I know. So, but anyways, it was interesting. It's interesting listening to Trump talking about banning TikTok, not understanding that. Go ahead and ban it. The kids are just going to use their
Apparently,
VPN.
there's another thing going around with kids and how to mess with the campaign.
What's going on? What's going on?
Apparently,
well,
saying to
we've
do
seen
it. I'm not saying to do it or anything. I'm not endorsing anything. But apparently, what I've seen on TikTok.
We're the news. We're just reporting
is apparently some political campaigns, not saying which ones, when you subscribe to them and you're a supporter of them, they will send you like a free package of like swag. So some people are saying, well, could we bankrupt these political parties, not saying which one, campaigns, by if we all order to be a supporter and get these free things sent to us, they won't have anything to give out.
It's kind of like the rally that happened down in the United States, where it was crowdsourced by the kids on TikTok.
Yeah, most don't know. What we can say is there was a campaign on TikTok where, because there was a rally that you could attend and you could get a ticket. Tickets were free, so people had crowdsourced TikTok to basically go to the campaign website, everyone get a ticket for free, but never attended. It's like,
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me, the ingenuity and creativity of youth, right? And especially when it comes to social media and using it for all the variety of reasons. And I must emphasize that the majority of our kids are doing really cool stuff. And to be quite honest, that was kind of cool on what they did and how they
Right now, I'm seeing on TikTok people promoting for down in the U.S. because there's elections happening to make sure you get your mail-in ballots in extra early.
Yeah.
Because there have been reports of potential delays with the Postal Service.
Well, go figure. I mean again, don't want to get into politics.
Isn't the Postal
here.
Service an administrative branch service?
Yes, and the person who's now taken over was placed there by a certain world leader. And that new postmaster general, whoever they are now doing things to slow down. I mean, it's like, oh my God, it's like Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually always the right answer, right? And there's reasons to do that, and it's just like, holy crow! I can't wait for November to come around. Like I'll admit it. I love U.S. politics, right? Because here in Canada, our politics, if you ever watch, and Canada, we got it's okay,
It's
but
more so filled with ethics concerns.
yeah, but
3 times.
Yeah, I know, but the we thing. Anyways, but what's interesting is if you watch our chamber, they're slapping tables, they're yelling and screaming and that. But anyways, it's this election that's going to come up, like. Get my popcorn. Did I tell you my favorite popcorn is popcorn? Get your popcorn ready and just sit back and watch the fireworks that are going to happen. It's like, oh my God. But what's sad about that? I hit the wrong button.
Didn't do anything.
What's sad about that is that whatever happens down there in the U.S. happens. It has an effect to everybody else around the world, right? So, good show.
Yeah.
Some laughs this time.
There won't be an episode next show because that's our one time in the summer we take time off for the show. But I mean, we're prepping.
Supposed to take time off.
Yes, but we're prepping for the Parent Safety Week.
Yeah, for sure.
So
hey, did you see my pen? It says the White Hatter on it. The White Hatter pen.
Yes.
The White Hatter pen. We have swag. We should start our own swag shop.
Well, I mean, we could use like Redbubble.
Yeah,
which was our plan.
What's Redbubble?
It's print-on-demand swag.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that. Hey, if you think we should have swag, let us know. People are watching us.
If you've stuck around since the end of this political talk, thank you for sticking around. We appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It really helps us. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs right now on YouTube.
Hey, we're getting up there.
We got a couple
more.
Yeah, came in. So
on behalf of myself, I'm Darren.
And Brandon, thank you so much. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks. But don't forget to check out all our old shows because they're on our YouTube channel.
Or our interviews.
Our interviews, too.
Those are very good to binge watch.
Yeah, there's like 14 of them now, right?
Clean the house, listen to some interviews. You don't need to watch them. You can just listen to them.
Yeah, it's like a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.